Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give people a chance to scroll on in here. Got an important topic to discuss today, man. Some stuff I want to get off my chest. Some myths surrounding veganism out here, man. Not necessarily even myths, but just some misunderstandings. What's going on, Patrick? How everything going your way? What's going on, Omnipotent Goldie? Just got to clear up some things, man. People have a lot of misconceptions in regards to veganism, plant-based, vegetarianism, all that good stuff out there. What's going on, Montel? How everything holding up on y'all end, man? How is Saturday treating y'all? What's going on, Sweet Tea? What's going on, Ron? You know, first off, rest in power to the G Chadwick Boseman. It's crazy. Hate to see brother go out like that. You know, he was battling with the colon cancer. Always hate to see that, but that's kind of what inspired this video, because a lot of people mentioned the fact that he went vegetarian, or he was vegetarian, or what he described as mostly vegan. Now, I don't know if he was mostly vegan or vegetarian pre being diagnosed with colon cancer, or is that something that he transitioned to when he got diagnosed. So I don't know about that aspect. So I don't know if he was vegetarian or vegan before he got diagnosed, or is this something that he did to try to help fight the colon cancer? So I don't know. But he described himself as mostly vegan, and a lot of people, for some apparent reason, a lot of people have been utilizing or using his death as kind of like a slap in the face to vegans, talking about, see, you can still eat healthy and die of cancer. Like, that's crazy that people are using this death to kind of make statements like that. And that's why I want to make a video like this to clear up the understanding, because it's crazy. It's like, I don't know how many vegans or plant-based eaters, like vegetarians and things of that nature, that these people know. But it's like, I personally, and all the other vegans that I know personally, have never said that by going vegan, you will never get any type of illness. I've never said that. So I don't know, like, I don't even know where people are getting that false notion from. It's real simple. And it should be common sense to people. It's real simple. What we are saying is that when you go, or if you transition to veganism or vegetarianism, or just plant-based, however you want to phrase it, when you transition to that lifestyle, it decreases your chances of attaining cancer, decreases the risk, decreases the chances. Doesn't say it just 100% eliminates it. There are a ton of other factors at play that can result in you attaining some form of cancer. And a lot of people ignore when we say that. And the reason why I transitioned to the vegan lifestyle is because I want to increase my chances of living a long and healthy life. It's all about statistics. It's all about mathematics. Nothing is 100%. But if you could do something that will better your chances of living that long and healthy life, why not gravitate towards that? So I like how when a death like this happens, people use this as something to attack veganism and the plant-based lifestyle. See, we gonna die anyway type deal. But on the flip side, when you look at these people, family members, all the family members that they got on these pills, all the family members that they may have lost due to, like, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, and things of that nature, they not looking at that and saying, oh, maybe they need to lay off the meat and things of that nature, because it contributes to those type of ailments, those type of diseases. But they don't look at it in that same light. So then when a plant-based person dies of cancer, the 1 out of 1 million, of the plant-based people that you may hear or see die of cancer, now all of a sudden people are using that as validation to say, see, you can eat healthy and still die of cancer. It's like, do y'all know how many people out here that are plant-based, that are living exactly how we describe? And for the most part, like I said, I don't know if he had been plant-based all the way up until that point, which I'm sure he probably wasn't. I don't know if that was something that he transitioned to help fight the cancer. I don't know. But again, if you wait until you are diagnosed with a form of cancer and then you switch over to the plant-based vegan lifestyle, it becomes that much harder for you to reverse the condition. That's why it's best. That's why it's best to look at something like veganism and the plant-based lifestyle as something that's preventative instead of using it as something that you are trying to reverse it by using. So you want to use that as a preventative measure. You don't want to wait until you are diagnosed with something to say, I'm going to go vegan, I'm going to go plant-based. Because like I said, there are a ton of different other factors at play. One of the main factors at play in regards to cancer is stress. So you can eat as healthy as you want to eat. But if you continue to surround yourself and place yourself in a stressful environment or indulge in a stressful lifestyle, then you are opening yourself up to all forms of cancer, all forms of illness, all forms of virus, simply by entertaining or indulging in a stressful lifestyle. So stress can definitely, I don't even say can, it does definitely lead to cancer. And that's external, outside of what you are consuming. So it starts in the mind. And of course, dude was like an entertainer. So I'm guaranteeing you he was on a stressful schedule. I'm guaranteeing you he wasn't getting the proper amount of sleep that you need. I'm guaranteeing you he was living a hectic lifestyle because he had schedules he had to, keep up with. He had deadlines he had to meet. He had scripts he had to memorize. He was doing all of that, all the while fighting his cancer. And that's the stuff that people want to ignore. As if we are talking about veganism being like the magic bullet and it can solve anything just by going vegan. That's not how that works. If you talk to a lot of vegans, we also tell you about the mind. We also talk about how that inner peace is also important. You can't just vegan your way to a long and healthy life. Like, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. It's just like exercise and things of that nature, man. You can't crunch your way to a six-pack. Like, nah, them abs are made in the kitchen, man. It's balance, duality, teamwork, and things of that nature. So we can't overlook that reality, man. And that's just one aspect of it. But it starts with that mind. So like if your mind is not right, man, in order for you to truly reverse an ailment or prevent yourself from getting that ailment, man, you have got to reduce stress, man. You have got to reduce stress. They have got to reduce stress. Like, that's the number one factor. Matter of fact, when I'm training people, I don't even start with, you need to clean up this type of eating, this, that, and the third. I start with the mind. What is your mindset? What is your mindset? Like, if your mind is not right, you can come in here and exercise and you can eat as clean as possible. But you still will be unhealthy. And that's just a fact. That's why I start with the mind, man. You got to get your mind right before you do anything else. It starts with that mind. It starts with that mental health. And a lot of us are on stressful schedules. So you can go vegan, but if, like I said, if you live in that stressful life, man, it's only a matter of time before that catches up with you. Sleep is very important. Like I brought up in the book where the dude reversed AIDS, man, one of the main things or the main reasons why he was able to reverse it is because he started to rest more. He slept more. Like, sleep is crucial. Sleep is crucial, man. Like little stuff, like little small things like that, we tend to overlook. The quality of the air that we breathe in, that contributes. Like, that's the environment, the pollutants in the environment. That's slept on. I'm gonna even go a little bit deeper, like the fabric, some of the clothing that we wear, man, that's laced with chemicals sometimes, man. It's like anything can contribute to you attaining some type of cancer. The water that you shower with, that can lead to cancer, man. Like small stuff like that we do not know about, we not hip to. But again, people think that we saying go vegan and that's the magic bullet. No, that's starting somewhere. That's starting somewhere. That's all going vegan. That's all going plant-based. It's starting somewhere. It's a starting point. We striving to live long and healthy lives, and you got to start somewhere. And for some people, going vegan, going plant-based is that starting point. But that's not the end all be all at all. So I don't appreciate people using this man's death as an opportunity to attack vegans, vegetarians, and all the people going plant-based. That's sad, man. That's sad. And I've seen several posts on Facebook of people saying that. And I can't handle that, man. I can't take that because it sounds crazy. Like even the vegan books, all they got to do, all these people have to do is pick up a book on veganism, and it's going to tell you, it's going to give you percentages. If you go vegan, the percentage or the rate at which you will attain cancer is this percent. If you eat meat, it is at this percent. If you pescatarian, it is at that percent. Neither one of those percents are of 100 at all. Yeah, sweet tea, the chemicals in the cleaners, like literally any and everything can contribute to cancer, man. It's a lot of different factors, man. So again, for people to just think we saying that all you got to do is eat right and you won't attain any type of cancer, you won't get sick, like it sounds crazy, man. It's just common sense. Why would we say that? Why would we say that? Thunder Scorpion, what I read was he described himself as mostly vegan. So that's vegetarian for the most part. And again, just because the brother said he was mostly vegan don't mean he was doing it correctly in and of itself. Like again, like just because he went out and said it doesn't mean he was eating the way that you're supposed to eat as a vegan. So just because somebody says like I'm vegan or I'm plant-based, like that doesn't necessarily mean that they are healthy. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are eating healthy. Just because you say you are vegan, just because you say you are vegetarian, more so vegetarians, it's real easy to eat terribly as a vegetarian. So just because somebody labels themselves as a vegan and just because somebody says they eat plant-based, that really doesn't mean that that person is actually eating healthy. Because what they have done is they have infiltrated healthy eating. So it's a lot of food out here that are health foods that are not necessarily good for us. So that's what they have done. And the fast food industry is preying on that also. You know, you got Impossible Burgers and things of that nature. So you got a ton of that out here. So a lot of people thinking that they are vegan and they are plant-based and they eating right and exact, but they really not. And Lindell, even with it being genetic or hereditary, the percentage on that is 5%. Like it's about it. I think the last thing that I read, your genes are genetics attribute to like 5% of whether or not you will come down with a disease or something. So that even with it being genetic, that's a small percent. I think diet was like 25 to 30%. So it's actually charts out here that let you know like the levels to this. So your genes will have like are responsible for 5% of whether or not you will come down with a disease or not. Diet is like 25 to 30%. It was like environment was like the rest. So they letting you know that diet is only 25 to 30% of the problem or the solution. Your genes is 5%, your genetics 5%. So that's like 35%. That's like 35% max, man. You got other factors in play. And a lot of people don't know that. What's going on, Thunder Scorpion? I ain't even been really looking at the comments yet. I just had to go in for a minute. Yeah, I know some people that then went down from the colon cancer, man, and it took them down quickly. You know what I mean? It took them down quickly. And a lot of people, again, like I said, a lot of people don't understand how this stuff works. People hear the word vegan, plant-based, get all in their feelings and make it seem like we saying that that's like the magic bullet. You go vegan, you can reverse anything, you won't get any ailment. Like, nah, that's not what we saying. So if you get diagnosed with a form of cancer, a good way to help reverse it is to go vegan, to go plant-based. That's not saying that it will reverse it, but it definitely will help. And you definitely may go down quicker if you eating a bunch of acidic meat and all that type of nonsense. We got too many testimonies. We got too many testimonies of people out here reversing cancers, reversing heart disease, reversing diabetes by going vegan, by going plant-based. The science is out here. So people just be waiting on somebody to come out and pass away that was like a vegan or vegetarian. What's the other guy? What was it? Michael Clark Duncan? When he passed, everybody was talking about how healthy he ate. I was like, man, come on, man. Dude was probably doing a bunch of other stuff that he wasn't supposed to be doing as well. For one, dude was like massive in size, so he probably was eating way too much. And he was straining his heart. So it was a bunch of different reasons why he could have passed. Like, come on, people just be waiting on that. When all these people dying every day because they continuing to eat meat, dairy products, and things of that nature. But we sweep that under the rug. But the one person that died and that person was like, I ate mostly vegetarian or I ate mostly vegan. They want to highlight that as a reason to not go vegan. Or to shun vegans and be like, look, you can eat healthy, but you still gonna die anyway. Who in the world has ever claimed that we gonna live forever? We all know that we gonna die. That sounds crazy. Like, who has ever claimed that? Nah, I don't necessarily think it was a sacrifice, man. Like, again, I don't think that at all. Beast reincarnated, man. I mean, the ranch is better than them, but I definitely would try to stay away from that ranch, man. Get you like some vinaigrette or something. And definitely don't put the cheese and the meat in that salad. Don't do that. What's going on, Dizzy? What's going on with the bro? What's going on, Lachelle? Yeah, so people need to get the facts straight, man. People definitely need to get the facts straight about veganism, man. And like I said, just because somebody is labeling themselves as vegan doesn't necessarily mean that they are healthy, yo. And I hate that it had to come to this. I hate that the brother had to pass like that, man. And then people using this as an opportunity to go in, man. Like that don't even make any sense. That don't even make any sense, man. We gotta celebrate the life of the brother, not go in talking about, see, look, he was vegan and he still passed. Man, come on. Y'all wasn't with this dude. Exactly, Montel, and that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Like, listen, you did it. You transition it, and you feeling better. You feeling better. That's all that it's about. That's all that it's about. Thunder Scorpion nutritional yeast is good for vitamin B12, man. I throw that in like some smoothies or something. So I don't have no problem with the nutritional yeast. It's got that B12 in it that we need, and I don't like to rely really on supplements, so I use it for the B12. So I throw it in smoothies. So yeah, if you're looking for that B12 source and you vegan, man, that nutritional yeast is a good source of that. So I try to get some in daily. You know, they like to talk about vegans being deficient in B12 when a lot of meat eaters are deficient in B12 and things of that nature. They almost recommend any and everybody, no matter how you eat, take a supplement for B12, but that nutritional yeast got enough in it, so we good. Yes, sir, Sean. No problem, man. People got it's a big misconception. Big misconception, man. I just really had to clear that up, man. For some reason, I guess people missed that. But it was just a bunch of hostile energy when this happened, man. It was like, y'all really using this to prove a point. That's crazy. Basically trying to insinuate that all the vegans and all the vegetarians are quiet now since it came out that dude was vegetarian or vegan. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, okay. Like, we criminals for encouraging you to eat more fruits and vegetables. Like, okay. Like I said, it's a lot of internal factors that can go into play, man. I guarantee you, man, just from the fact that he was in Hollywood, dude was adhering to a stressful schedule. guarantee you he was. And it didn't appear that, because obviously he was diagnosed, what they said, 4 years ago. But then that 4 years, man, dude, and did all type of movies. So that's stress, man. When you get diagnosed with a cancer, you got to lay off all that. You got to lay off all that. Period. But if he was diagnosed in 2016, man, I don't know how many movies dude was in that came out like after that. Meaning he was working on them before that and then during that. So, man, that's stress. Like, that's stress. And that's essentially what ended up taking him out. It's that stress. Once you get diagnosed with something, man, you got to chill all the way out. You got to literally chill out, man. You got to isolate yourself, man. And you got to rest. You got to fast, man. You got to be in a positive environment. Like, period, man. All those things are crucial. That's why people go to those retreats and things like that to heal themselves, man. Like, look at Dr. Sebi, man. Look where he brought the people when he was healing them. You got to be in an environment like that. And you got to be in that type of environment for some months, man, if you really striving to reverse a condition. Beach reincarnate, like I said, that vinaigrette. You got like little low-fat vegan dressings and whatnot. Mike Amos, according to the stats, according to the numbers, yes, it is better to eat no meat. Your percentages in regards to acquiring all those diseases, you know, cancers and all those ailments and things of that nature, they decrease. Chances are much higher when you are consuming meat. And that's all that we're saying. So you have a better chance of living that long, healthy life by going vegan, by going plant-based. Again, that's all we saying. It's just a percentage game. It's mathematical, man. We're not guaranteeing that, because we can't guarantee anything. Because I don't know what type of life you live. You know what I mean? I don't know what else you involved in and with. I don't know how your mindset is. Like, it's a bunch of other factors. Like I said, what you eat, that's about 25 to 30% in regards to the determining factor, or the determining percentage in regards to whether or not you will come down with a cancer or any other type of ailments. About 25 to 30% has to do with what you eat. That's only 25 to 30%. What's going on, TZ Frank, man? I'm just building on the misconception that people have in regards to veganism and its relation to like disease. People think that we say, as vegans or as people striving to go plant-based, they got this erroneous notion that we are saying you go vegan, you can't get any type of cancer. Or if you go vegan, why you got, it's going to reverse any and everything. Nah, we just saying the percentages go down in regards to you attaining or acquiring a disease. That's all that we are saying. There are a lot of other factors in play. I'm going to even give you one that slept on, man. Some of these devices that we own, that's radiation coming out of these devices. So you got to minimize the time spent on these smartphones and on these laptops, because that's radiation that can contribute to some form of cancer. Like little stuff like that. Little stuff like that that we sleep on. Now, there's certain foods that you can use to combat that. Yeah, it's a lot of foods that you can use to combat that. Like if you eat a lot of greens and whatnot, then that can combat like your exposure to the radiation. So you have to double up on the consumption of the greens and whatnot. So it's ways to combat everything, man. But again, it's little small stuff that we tend to overlook that can contribute to our downfall. And people just think eating right, changing the way that I'm eating is going to just reverse everything and change everything for the better. No, not at all. Not at all. It's almost like if weight loss is the goal, like in order for your body to really look how you want it to look, like you can't just eat, you can't just change the way that you eat, lose the weight. Like if you just change the way that you eat and lose the weight, it's not going to necessarily look the best. It's going to be what they call skinny fat. In order for you to really tone it up the way that you want to tone it up and need to tone it up, you got to exercise. You got to lift weights with it. That balance, that duality. That's how life operates. You can't just do one thing and expect for it to change everything. So you got to look at it holistically, man. Like holistically is big, man. Like I said, if you're dealing with a cancer, if you're dealing with any type of ailment, you got to You gotta change up your schedule, man. You gotta change up what you are doing. If you live in a stressful lifestyle, man, you gotta change that up. You gotta change that up. Like, period. You gotta put everything on hold until you heal yourself. And that's just an actual fact, man. It is what it is. So, like, if you in Hollywood and you diagnosed with cancer and you still out here filming movies, man, I don't care whether or not you enjoy it. That's stressful. You got to memorize, like you making your brain got to work too hard, man. And it really needs to rest. Like, that's nature, man. When you see an animal get sick in nature, man, it's resting. It's not still trying to work. It's resting. So when your body is letting you know, like, hey, something is wrong or something major is wrong, it's telling you need to rest. You need to chill out for a moment. TZ Frank is all about how you lifting the weights. It's all about how you lifting them, man. If you worried about bad joints, then that's a simple fix, man. You just do them higher reps. Bad joints, really, you only really gonna get hit with those bad joints when you lifting too heavy, which is what I was doing for the most part. But when you program everything correctly, like, nah, they will strengthen your joints. But a lot of times, especially us men, we don't program our weightlifting correctly. We go in the gym, feel like we got to be the strongest dude in there. So a lot of times we lifting too heavy and then we doing it improperly. So form is key. When you're doing everything with the correct form, like, your joints will only strengthen. But if you go in there trying to lift too heavy and the form is incorrect, you're going down. And most of the time when you're doing things with the correct form, you can't even lift that heavy. We're not as strong as we think sometimes. But I didn't seen that too many times in the gym and as a trainer, man. Dudes be throwing 4 or 5 plates on the squat rack, man, and barely be squatting, tearing their back and knees all the way up, squatting the wrong way. But then when they humble themselves and squat properly, man, they got to remove 2 or 3 of those plates. So when you got to program it when you weightlifting, man. When you value your form, and then when you schedule like deload weeks, like weeks where you going light, like, now you'll be good. I know a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of power lifters say that they wish they kind of programmed their weightlifting a lot better when they were younger in order to spare their joints. Like, did a bunch of higher reps, lighter weight type deal. So that's really all you got to do. Lindell, most definitely. Medical opinions are definitely not always right. And like I said in a past video, medical opinions, or what they call medical errors, at one time, that was like, I forgot, maybe like the 3rd or 4th leading cause of death. Medical errors, iatrogenic deaths. Like, come on. So sometimes we really can't trust those medical opinions. I got a lot of personal situations, man, where people I know have been diagnosed with like a blood clot, then all of a sudden they end up dead after the surgery. Like, how that happens? And matter of fact, I got one personal story on that. It's crazy, yo. Like, it was at the bank where I was working at, man. I think it was like her daughter had passed, and they had said she had a blood clot, so they went in and did a surgery. And shortly after that surgery, she had passed. And the moms felt like the hospital had something to do with it, so she was striving to sue them. So instead of the hospital, of course, holding themselves accountable, they blamed the daughter. They said that she was too heavy. She needed to lose weight. They literally legit blamed the daughter in regards to why she passed after they did the surgery for the blood clot. They said the daughter was overweight, obese, and that is why she passed. That was crazy. In order to protect themselves. But the moms were striving to sue that hospital, man, because they, like, after they went in and did the surgery for the blood clot, she ended up passing, and then they blamed her, saying that she was overweight and obese. I was like, wow, that's grimy. They know that they did something incorrectly, which caused her to die via that surgery. But they wanted to blame her for it. That's crazy. What's going on, Donna C? Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, like I said, it's all about form, and it's all about lifting smart. Sometimes we be going too hard. We don't go smart in the gym. We go hard in the gym. No, you gotta lift smart. That's why some people have seen me. It's crazy. I done got criticized sometimes, man, for some videos that I've done lifting lighter weights. Dudes are like, oh, you only lifting that? I'm like, fam. I'm like, I could lift way heavier if I wanted to, but I'm protecting myself. So it's crazy. Like that's that ego. That's that male ego. Feel like we got to go in the gym and we got to lift the biggest and meanest weights out there. Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna pick up those light weights and I'm gonna do about 30, 35 reps of those. And I'm gonna be good. Yeah, Philly Vision, they're addicted to the blood, they're addicted to the trauma that comes with the meat and all that. Sean, you got it, bro. Just keep it up, man. Just keep it up. Baby steps. Like if you've been eating the wrong way for 30, 35, 20 years, like don't expect for it to change overnight. You know what I mean? Take it slow. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, I had to know exactly what type of routine that y'all was on. Because I've seen a bunch of that. Like I said, man, you got to live smart. The only times where I didn't, like I've been lifting weights almost since I was like 15. And I'm going on 30, that's 15 years. And I've had only one serious weightlifting issue. And that was it was my fault. But other than that, I'm typically good. Like I rehab my shoulders. Like I separated my shoulders playing football, rehab my shoulders, and it was all because of weightlifting, just strengthening my joints back up. So it's a way you got to do. It's a science to it. Like it's a science to lifting weights. It's a real science to it in order to preserve your joints. We got to do it correctly though. Like your program is crucial. That's why when a lot of people knock trainers and stuff like that, oh, you could do that on your own. I'm like, man, y'all don't understand the science behind mapping out a program. Like it's some science to it, man. You got to put in a lot of thought to how you map out your regimen. From your rep and set schemes and patterns to your rest time, to your deload weeks, to the way you progress with the weight. All of that, man, it's a science. Oh yeah, Zuko, they misdiagnosed a lot of us with ADHD, especially us young men. That's that testosterone, man. We not created to be in that type of environment, man. We got to get up and move. So a lot of us was misdiagnosed with ADHD and all that nonsense, simply because we couldn't sit still in a classroom setting. That environment is not for us. That's testosterone, man. We got to get up. We got to do something, man. I always had problems in school like that. I could not sit down in the class. Like I was either going to go to sleep. Like I was going to go to sleep 9 times out of 10. Couldn't do it. Like I needed to get up. I needed to be active. Yeah, Montel, and that's another thing too, man. I tell people all the time, don't use all that, the protein shakes. And I can speak from experience because I did. I used all that. I used a lot of little supplement, little powders, and I drank a lot like muscle milk and all that back in the day. And essentially, that stuff tears up your kidneys. Like that's the main issue with like those protein shakes and those supplements. They can tear up your kidneys. And a lot of people don't know and understand that. Like it's a lot of people that the most popular one that a lot of people talk about is like creatine. Man, that's trash. Boy, I do not recommend you take that at all. That will tear your kidneys up. And then the moment you stop lifting for real, you're gonna fluff up. So like, nah, creatine is terrible, man. You do not want to use creatine, but it's a lot of people, a lot of dudes that work out, man, they live and die by creatine. That's one of the worst things that you can take. But I don't fool with any of those supplements and any protein shakes. Like I'm sure I get strictly everything that I need via eating. If I can't get it eating, I'm good on it. And like I got my little superfood powders that I fool with, like I mentioned in the previous video. My spirulina wheatgrass and all that chlorella, kelp powder, and all that good stuff. Those are like the only so-called supplements, which they are not really supplements, that I take. Yeah, TZ Frank, I had that was the last protein powder that I was using, was Mike Rashid's. like this little planter. It's planter powder. And then it was like the I'm So Alpha powder. I used all the Mike Rashid stuff before. That was the last protein powder that I was fooling with, man, trying to support my brother. But then I realized I'm like, nah, I'm good on it. But I was on his stuff about like 2 or 3 years actually. But I weaned myself off of it. Montel, I don't recommend steroids at all. Like I'm 100% like get everything through what you eat. 100%. Like I don't fool with steroids. And it got like to prove a point, because I played college ball, so I was around all this. So all these players, you know, these white players, for the most part, man, they was juiced up, and they was barely outlifting me. Like, to show you how crazy it was, man, they was juiced up, and I'm still pretty much lifting the same amount of weight that they lifted. And I tell you, I'm a small dude. I'm 5'6", and I'm about 145. These dudes like 6'2", 250 in college, man, and I'm lifting the same weight as them, and I'm taking absolutely nothing. So again, like what is the point of steroids, man? I'm lifting all you have to do is go hard. Like these dudes is twice my size, and I'm lifting the same weight that they are. So it's more impressive when a smaller person is lifting that weight. Like when you bigger, you're supposed to be able to lift a heavier weight. But when I'm lifting the same thing as you, I'm actually stronger than you, and you juiced up and I'm not. So that's another reason why I don't necessarily care for steroids, man, because I don't need them. You don't need them. Like, I kid you not, I remember to this day, like, dudes was getting mad because they accused me of being on their stuff. Like, I can't tell you how many times people thought I was on something, man, because, you know, my veins would be popping out and little stuff like that, man. I never was on any type of steroid at all. And the simple fact that I was out here outlifting the dudes, they was like, well, since they own it, they by default had to think I was on. I was like, nah, this is natural. This in our nature to be this strong, man. Y'all don't understand that. That's why y'all getting juiced up. We don't need to. All we got to do is commit to the gym. It's just that simple for us. Like, if I did take some steroids, I probably would pass out weightlifting because I'd be way too strong. And I'd really be straining my heart. Like, I'm glad I didn't take anything. Yeah, steroids are big trash. But like I said, I was around it. When I played college ball, I was around it. Dudes was juiced up. All the symptoms, man, that rage that come with them, man, like them little pimples in the back or on the back. All that, man. So this is how you know dudes was juiced up. And dizzy, yeah, man. Yeah, working out in the fastest state is cool if you're looking to burn fat. That's one of the best ways to do it. Working out in that fastest state. That expedites the fat burning process, man. It helps you shred up. Especially when you do cardio. It's best to do the cardio on that empty stomach. So if you're trying to expedite the shredding process, if you're trying to expedite the fat burning process, then you want to do your cardio in that fastest state. That's one of the best ways to do it. And Sean Steve, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, man. It's a lot of factors at play as to why he could have passed away from the colon cancer. A lot of people wanted to highlight the fact that he said he was vegan as they looked at that as an opportunity to kind of say, look, you can go vegan, vegetarian and die anyway. But I'm like, man, that dude was probably still adhering to a stressful schedule. And more than likely that contributed to that, to him passing, man. Because like I said, man, how many movies came out after 2016 when he was supposedly diagnosed with it? Like, dude was probably just working. And he was probably working as a coping mechanism, man, to try to get his mind off of that cancer, which I've seen stuff like that. So when you're doing all that working, man, that's stress. Like, your body needs to sit down and relax. So if anything, it was the stress that contributed to that. And then, like I said, also, just because somebody say they vegan or they vegetarian don't necessarily mean that they are eating healthy in and of itself. But like I said, I don't know how the brother was living. It's just it's sad that the brother had to pass the way that he passed, man, because dude was young. It's sad, man. That's why I'm kind of upset that people use that as an opportunity to kind of bash vegans and vegetarians. Like, come on, man, it's childish. But I'm not about to let people do that, man, and I not voice my opinion on it, because again, you attack that, you attacking my lifestyle, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm gonna defend going plant-based. I'm gonna defend veganism. I'm gonna defend that. to the fullest. I'm not about to let people slide on that. Yeah, TZ Frank, that's what I didn't know. Like when I was doing the knowledge to him, I didn't know if that's something that he tried to use as a tool to reverse his cancer. And I'm like, if that was the case, then that was another problem, because then we waited too late. So that's why I tell people too, you don't want to wait until you have an ailment or an issue that you're trying to reverse to strive and change the way that you eat. Like that's not the time to do it. I mean, it can help, but like you more than likely you didn't waited too late, because there's other factors that need to be cleaned up as well. And if all of those things are not in alignment, then that cancer gonna take you down. So it's better to use it as a preventative tool. If he would have been a lifelong vegan, then I guarantee you he's not going down at 42, 43. I guarantee you that. But we don't have many lifelong vegans. Like we don't have many people that were born vegan. Like we don't have that. Like that's going to be the next generation. We don't have a lot of lifelong vegans. But I guarantee you, if you study people that were vegan since birth, like you're going to see a tremendous level of health, and they did it properly. But we don't have many of that to study. And we know why that is. But it's like soon as you come across the information, like if you watching it, like if you know that the way that you eating is terrible, for the like as soon as you acknowledge that, man, it's time to change, man. But then especially when you start coming across videos and information, like man, you got to act on that immediately. It's a reason why you coming across that information, man. It's a reason why you coming across information that's encouraging you to change the ways you eat. It's a reason why you introduced to it. Do not overlook that. Everything happens for a reason, man. Don't overlook that. If you coming across information that's encouraging you to eat correctly, like when I came across How to Eat to Live, when I came across that book for a reason. It caught my eye for a reason. I read it for a reason. The reason was just not for me to read it and then forget everything that I had just read. No, the reason was for me to read it, implement it. And that's what I did. Yeah, it might be, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say even some of the plant-based people get this, because like I said, man, they just label the way they labeling things, man. But yeah, going raw, like 80 to 90% raw is definitely the best way to do it. But I know off the rip, it's hard to swallow that pill, man. But going raw is like just for my studies, which is why I'm gonna eventually strive to incorporate more raw foods and things of that nature into my lifestyle, man. Because for my studies, like going raw predominantly is the best way to do it. Like going 100% raw if you can't beat that. But I know that that's hard. But like at least 80, 85% raw, according to my studies, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to eat. But you got to work your way up to that point. But that's what I was saying earlier, man. Just because somebody's saying they vegan, vegetarian, plant-based doesn't mean they are necessarily healthy. And a lot of people get that misconstrued. A lot of people think that that's what that means. But that's not necessarily what it means. So we gotta protect our health in all aspects of health, man. So eating right is a starting point, but it's not necessarily the end all be all. Again, man, if you're not doing things for that mental, for that mind, for that brain, you can forget about it. You can't forget about it. That's why I say, man, you gotta examine the stressors in your life. Like again, talking about the supreme mathematics, we deal with the one. So that's knowledge. That's your foundation. You got to you got to do the knowledge to yourself and analyze and examine what is bringing you stress. And you really got to reduce your exposure to these stressors. It's got to start there. It's got to start there, man. Everything that's supplying stress to your life, you got to reduce your exposure to it. And you got to build up that brain. You got to build up that mental, man. Everything is mental. So it's like we gotta take care of this first, man. That's where it all has to start here. Period. Period, man. It all has to start right here. What's going on in Takazulu? Man, you had the hernia surgery. How you holding up? Man, we just talking about the misconceptions, man, that people have in regards to veganism. Making it seem like vegans or people that are going plant-based have claimed that going vegan is like the magic bullet, can cure everything and prevent you from having. Nah, we just saying that it decreases your risk of attaining cancers and things like that. We're not necessarily saying it's 100% bulletproof. Like, nah, nothing is 100%. Yeah, Goldilocks, living foods, electric foods, whatever you want to call them, like, are definitely supreme. Most definitely. I'm going to do some experimenting with myself here in September, man. I'm going to let y'all know how that go the beginning of October, but I'm about to experiment with a certain way that I'm about to try to eat. In a certain way that I'm about to live. Like, I'm going to put myself on a schedule here, and I'm going to let y'all know how that goes. And if I feel like it works, man, of course, I'm going to share that information with y'all. If I feel like it don't work, then I'm going to tell y'all don't do it. But I'm about to experiment with myself, man, change some things up so I can reach that next level. I'm always striving to reach that next level. Like always, it's about that optimal level of health. That's what it's all about. That's why we eat healthy. That's why we change the way that we eat. That's why we change the way that we think, because we want to function optimally. Like, I don't want to be walking around lacking energy when I need energy the most. Like, nah, I don't want to be doing that. Like, I don't want to be doing that at all, man. I don't want to walk around sluggish. I don't want to take 5 to 10 steps and then I got to stop, man, because I'm out of breath. Like, I can't live like that. Omnipotent Goldie, most definitely. He got it from Elijah. Elijah Muhammad had a strict lifestyle, strict diet. If you a follower of the Elijah Muhammad, like if you a Nation of Islam, then your diet should be very strict for the most part, because you live by how to eat to live. Yeah, Taka Zulu, that's what inspired this video, because a lot, people was associating him with veganism and vegetarianism because he said he had, transitioned to a mostly vegan lifestyle, and people were like, see, you can go vegan and still die of cancer. So I had to clear up a lot of those misconceptions. And Ron Pork is one of them. I'm gonna go out on the limb, just honestly, in my dealings with people, pork ain't really the problem. Now it's like sugar, like artificial sugar, and cheese. Man, cheese is, it's like people can entertain eliminating meat, but it's like when I tell people cheese, like that's where the ball starts. It's like I can't do that. So it's like cheese and that artificial sugar, refined sugar. Those two are problems. Big problems. Appreciate that, Beast Reincarnated. Omnipotent Goldie, of course. Yeah, we not Muslim neither, man. But again, like I said, that book inspired me. That book inspired me. Now, I don't do the 1 meal a day like he did in the book, but man, for the most part, like that book was inspiring. And I did it for a moment, like the 1 meal a day. I was doing it for a little time period, and it was cool. It was working for me. But that book was an eye opener. But yeah, that cheese and that artificial sugar, those are the big time killers, man. People can't drop that. People have a hard time. You say no cheese, that they're like, wait a minute, yo. Like, what I'm supposed to, if I can't put cheese on nothing, then how I'm gonna live? Which is the mistake vegetarians make. See, when you just eliminate meat, then that means everything else is up for grabs. So when you go vegetarian, a lot of people just consume a bunch of things filled with cheese, which is what I was doing. And that's almost worse than like consuming the meat, man, because that's really clogging your arteries, making you way more susceptible to like heart disease and things like that. Almond cheese is better than the regular cheese, but again, like I said, I wouldn't overdo that neither. Yeah, Takazulu, man, that's really the number one killer is stress, like period. Because everything is a form of stress. Even when you eating incorrectly, that's stress. So at the end of the day, it all sums up to stress. Like stress is the number one killer. Like all these diseases, all these ailments because of stress. Because like I said, even when you eating incorrectly, that's stress. It's stress in the body. So stress really in and of itself is the number one killer. So that's why I said when you're doing anything that's stressful, like you really want to reduce your exposure to it. Because the last thing you need to do is like walk into intentional stress. Like things that you can avoid or change. Like, come on, man. Like you gotta change that. You gotta shift that reality. Beast reincarnated. I don't even know where to start. Man, it's literally drugs in cheese, man. I got a book, man, that broke down how there is morphine, like little doses of morphine in cheese, which is what creates that addiction, which is why people feel like they can't drop cheese because it's literally morphine in the cheese. Now, this is stuff they're not going to tell you and teach you, but it's literally morphine, the drug in cheese. Hence why people become addicted to it and feel like it's like a drug because there are literally drugs in the cheese. And like I said, it clogs the arteries. So that's bad for like your heart, like cheese, cholesterol, and then your heart, like it blocks all that. It clogs all of that. Of course, considering the fact that it's overly toxic, but like cheese is horrible. Cheese is horrible, but the main thing when somebody's overly consuming cheese, it's gonna affect the heart. It's gonna affect the heart. So a person that's eating too much cheese, and then another thing that it can do, cheese can also be associated along with like meat, but meat is the main association with like gout and stuff like that. But meat and beer is mainly associated with gout, but cheese is in that too. Yeah, omnipotent gold, literally morphine. Like look that up. It may be hard to find it because you know how they suppress information, so the truth is kind of hard to find out here. But you can look it up, man. Morphine in cheese. But like I said, you know, it's powerful people out here that control the media. So when they see information like this get out, they suppress it. So it may be hard to find stuff supporting that. That's why you got to dive into the books, man. But literally, morphine in cheese. Yeah, Goldilocks, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like 90%. That's better than the 80% that they recommend. Yeah, Tiger Zulu, man. Cheese is. I'm almost starting to say I don't know which one is worse. Like cheese, milk, meat, like those. Yeah, boy, that's rough one. It's a rough one, man. But cheese is terrible, man. Cheese is terrible. Nah, beast reincarnated. I don't rock with the croutons in the salad. Like you want to keep that salad as green as possible. You don't really want to put too much in that salad. But yeah, definitely lay off that cheese, man. Most definitely. Montel, that's like the little cube pieces of bread that you see in some salads. Zuko, it depends on what you are doing that for, in regards to eating once a day for about 90 days. And then it depends on the meal. If you eat a well-balanced meal, I don't see a problem with doing it for 90 days. And if you're already kind of like in tip-top shape, if you good there, like I don't like experiment with it, ain't gonna really do anything negative for you. Now, if you got some ailments and that ailment is it like the result of a deficiency, then obviously your body lacks something. So then when that is the case, then I don't recommend doing that because you need to supply your body with the proper nutrients. So a lot of people don't understand that too. A lot of people don't understand that some of these ailments that we deal with can be the result of a deficiency, meaning that we need to eat more of something. So like if the bones are an issue, then you may be lacking magnesium along with calcium. See, we think that it's calcium, but for the most part, we're going to get the proper amount of calcium. We need that magnesium so that calcium can be absorbed. So when we have bone issues, like you need to eat more magnesium food sources. Yeah, Donna C, definitely stay away from dairy for the most part. Most of us are lactose intolerant anyway, but we tend to disregard that because we're so addicted to the dairy products. But we're not supposed to be rocking with dairy products at all. Beach reincarnated, you can put the nuts and seeds in there in the salad. You know, hemp seeds, almonds. Yeah, but yeah, definitely stay away from that dairy though. That was actually when my health started to really transition. When I laid off the dairy products and the eggs, like that's when I really started noticing myself clear up. Oh, Takazulu, yep, iron, man. You get you some pumpkin seeds and you eat your spinach and you got your iron taken care of. But I got a lot of people that I probably need to do a video on iron. It's a lot of, especially women. A lot of women have been misled by these doctors in regards to iron. I trained a few that they got them on iron pills. And they got these people, they got these women thinking that they can't stop consuming meat because they done told them that meat is the only source of iron. It's like, that's crazy. And they got them on the iron pills. So I'm like, if you was eating meat religiously, how did you end up on these iron pills? If meat is supposed to be the best source of iron, but you was consuming all of this meat and you still ended up on an iron pill. How does that make any sense? Bobby Brown, nope. But yeah, it's a lot of misinformation in regards to iron, bro. People don't even know like the two forms of it, the non-heme and the heme iron. See, the non-heme is the iron that you get from the plant-based sources. The heme iron is what you get from the meat. And I might have to do a whole breakdown of that. But they got a lot of people. They got a lot of people, especially women, misinformed in regards to iron. And it's just crazy how they tell you that meat is the best source of iron. You need to eat meat for the iron, but yet the people that are eating the meat for the iron are still ending up on iron pills. I found that quite interesting. Like the thing of it is that what the women got to realize is whatever your sources of iron are, like you got to consume a little bit more of that. Like you can't consume the daily recommended amount. Like you may have to double that to protect yourself from an iron deficiency. So that's the like it's easy. Like they got a lot of women like straight deceived out here, man. I was like, man, what are you taking iron pills for? And then when I tell them, I've literally tried to get a few women to like fast, and they swear that they got to eat because of this iron deficiency. So the doctor has really got them to the point where they feel like they cannot fast because for one, it's that pill. Like it's those iron pills, man. But like it's crazy. I done tried to have a few on fast, and they legit break down and feel like they gotta have some meat because they feel like their body is craving iron. So that they got some people in the iron industry, in the iron business. That's a misunderstood mineral. No problem, Bobby. So it's just, man, it's just a lot of misinformation out here, and it's sad because you would think, and that's another reason why the internet, like the these smartphones and all that, it's the reason why this era is like a blessing and a curse. Because at the same time, where it's easy to access information, is that much easier to be misled. People got to understand that all the while it's easy to access information, it's still certain powers that are still working to fabricate certain pieces of information, and they are still reigning supreme. So it's still harder to find some pieces of truth out here in regards to certain topics. So don't get it misconstrued. Don't think simply because you can look stuff up on the phone that all the information that is needed on a particular topic is on a phone. Like, don't think that. A lot of people think that, oh, if you look it up on your phone, it don't come up on the phone, then it must not be true. Nah, it's still some truth out here that you got to dig in these books to get. Matter of fact, that's where most of the truths are. Like, if you look up ways to lose weight, like, you're gonna come across pretty much a lot of keto stuff, a lot of unhealthy stuff. You ain't gonna come across a legit way that you really need to do it. Yeah, here you go, Donna C. The general. Only people I make fun of are trolls, and we say we rarely get those. What's going on, Get Money? So it's like, man, people got to be real careful in regards to, like, just Googling health information, man, because it's so easy to get misled, man. It's easy. I mean, you can test it right now just by Googling something on your phone. And we tend to not really do research thoroughly. So whatever the first 2 or 3 articles we come across, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. Hence why a lot of people come to me. They was like, man, I looked up how to lose weight. You know, I've been trying this, been trying that, and it ain't working for me. So that's why they seek out the professional. Like, because if you look this stuff up, man, you're gonna get led in all different type of directions. Look at this, man. As soon as I jump up on it, when I Google how to lose weight, first thing I come across is eating protein, high protein breakfast. Like, come on, that's misleading. That's misleading. And that's one of the first things you're gonna come across. Eat that high protein breakfast. Man, you know how many people I know that do that? Meanwhile, I'm gonna tell you to drink a smoothie. I'm gonna tell you to eat fruits. But you gotta dig to find that simple information. Somebody gonna tell you eat that high protein breakfast. Or eat protein. Like, not understanding that overdoing the protein again is impacting your kidneys, and it's making you more prone to diabetes. Stuff that we don't know. Because for the most part, when we hear protein, we think meat. So we're not thinking other sources of protein. So when you tell somebody they consume a lot of protein, they didn't either got a protein powder or they consuming meat. That's what people think protein. When people think protein, they eating meat or they getting the protein powder. And those things are bad for the kidneys. Like, those things are bad for the kidneys. But when you look up how to lose weight, that's one of the things that they continue to tell you. Protein, eat protein every meal type deal. I'm not giving anybody that advice. Oh yeah, Montel, like I said, the client that I got that's pre-diabetic, the doctor told her to eat those Oreo cookies and drink a glass of milk. 5 Oreo cookies, or it might have been 6, 5 or 6 Oreo cookies and drink a glass of milk. That's the recommendation of a doctor. Appreciate that, Joe King. Omnipotent Goldie, turkey was the last thing that I stopped. I forgot how I go. Because I didn't really eat fish like that. When I was a child, like, I didn't really care for fish like that. So it was like, it went Pork, I dropped that instantly. Then it was just like beef and stuff like that. And then I think I went like chicken, and then I went turkey. Montel fig, like the fig Newton bar, like if you eat those bars that are in stores, they are typically overly laced with sugar, but like figs in and of themselves are healthy for you. But those bars, you got to read the back of those joints, man. You're going to see like that added sugar is crazy. When that added sugar start getting into double digits in regards to percentages, and we might have a problem. And people don't understand the way that they, man, the way that they put ooh, the amount of sugar that they put in some things, man. It's like little simple stuff like ketchup. Like you using ketchup and you look at the back of that ketchup and you see sugar on that, like it's crazy. The amount of sugar that they put in all these products, it's crazy. Yep, Ronnie Ron, 6 Oreo cookies and a glass of milk. And if she couldn't access that, then she was able to eat cheese sticks. Like, she couldn't eat fruits though, but she could eat cheese sticks and then the 6 Oreo cookies. Beast reincarnated, yes, it is. And get money, man. I typically, like I said, try to start the day off with a smoothie, some fruits. If I can't access the smoothie, and then I eat like a lot of beans, man. I eat like whole grains, whole wheat. I done laid off like the brown rice and the quinoa, and I eat a lot of veggies, sweet potatoes, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, jungle peanuts. Like I eat a lot of stuff like that. Auntie Potent Goldie, yeah, get that water up. Yeah, Cap, that's what I'm saying. It's always artificial sugar. So it's like crazy, man, how a lot of that stuff is just laced with sugar. It's crazy. Zuko, I prefer the bag, but it's actually some decent, like I don't like, of course, canned beans and canned foods have the negatives, but it's like some of them is some trustworthy brands out here that don't have all that sodium in it and don't have all that juice inside of them. It's a lot of theories as to what that juice is inside the cans, but it's a lot of trustworthy canned goods out here. You got to find the right brands and you got to watch for that sodium content, man. It got to be low. So I done found some trustworthy ones just when I don't have time to be preparing the beans. I need to be prepared and things like that. Then you can eat them out that can when you find a trustworthy brand. Yeah, Lindell, people do a lot of crazy things in the name of eating salads. Like they say, I ate a salad, but it looked like a pasta because they just sprinkled all, like the whole thing of ranch dressing. Poured that whole thing on a salad to the point where you couldn't even see the green. So they oversaturated it with the ranch. It was like, well, I ate a salad. And then, like you said, they'll drag it down. They'll wash it down with a Coca-Cola or something. But they'll be like, I ate the salad though. People do that with water too. Beast reincarnated. I really don't eat out at all for real. So I stay away from all that. Yeah, Oreos are technically vegan, which is the crazy thing about it. But for that to be like some advice for somebody that's about that's pre-diabetic, that's funny. Now, if you just chilling, like if you're not pre-diabetic, then enjoying some Oreos here and there is not necessarily a crime. But like if you pre-diabetic, I'm not about to be like, hey, for a snack, you need to eat Oreos. Like, what am I telling you? Yeah, so if you pre-diabetic and you don't want to go full-blown diabetic, eat Oreos. Like that don't make sense. Yeah, like I said, man, if you're not facing a serious crisis, then indulging in some Oreos here and there not necessarily bad. Like I said, the 80-20 rule. So if that 20% is some Oreos, then you all right. But if you pre-diabetic, then you might want to lay off the Oreos for a minute. Yeah, Goldilocks, man. I don't even remember the last time I got like some fast food. I mean, for the most part, it ain't too much I can eat. Oreos for the W. Wait a minute, man. What Oreos y'all food with? Like the lemon kind or the y'all food with the regular Oreos in the blue box or whatever. The black and white joints. Yeah, Donna C ain't giving up the Oreos. That ain't happening. She said, listen, Oreos is healthy. They vegan. Oh man. I ain't gonna lie, yeah, them regular Oreos do something to you, man. You get you some like almond milk or the oat milk with it. Like I said, ain't nothing wrong with the little pleasure foods. Only when you become pre-diabetic, it's like, all right, now I'm probably not gonna eat these Oreos. Chill out. And that's what I tell a lot of my clients that, man, you ain't gotta feel bad. Like indulge in, if you like overindulge in like pleasure foods, man, as long as you balance it out, you good. Not even balance it out. As long as you 80% what you need to eat, then you got another 20%. Then when you do stuff like fasting, man, you giving yourself the ability to like, all right, I like Oreos. I'm gonna eat Oreos like and then I'm gonna fast that next day. But people don't understand that balance. So you got people that they eat Oreos, then they eat all the other garbage that they shouldn't be eating as well. That's when it becomes a problem. So I tell people all the time, man, you can still eat some of those foods that you enjoy. Like that may not necessarily be the best for you. And you ain't even got to look at it as a cheat meal or anything like that. Because like I said, if you 80, 20, 90, 10, then that's that 10%, that 20%. So it is what it is. Like I said, if you 80% plant-based, that gives you 20% to do what you want to do. 20% is a nice number. It's a nice number. So I stress that to my clients all the time. Like, hey man, you ain't got to beat yourself over the head, man. If you had this vegan cake or something, hey, don't beat yourself over the head, man. You're gonna fast the next day, so you good. Eat more fruits and veggies the next day. Or if let's say you going to a dinner or something, you about to go hard for that dinner and probably eat some stuff you're not supposed to. Well, throughout that day, man, eat you nothing but fruits and veggies. Balance it out. Balance it out. Yeah, Ronnie Ron, lemons and limes are good for the immune system. Mushrooms, cooked mushrooms, good for the immune system. Cruciferous vegetables, great for the immune system, like broccoli, kale, cabbage, cauliflower. Great for the immune system. All berries are good for the immune system. Garlic is good for the immune system. Yeah, definitely don't eat the whole pack. But then also, like my mom's got a bad habit of this, like with certain foods and bad foods. What she'd do is, which you end up eating the whole pack or the bag anyway. So she'd grab a few at a time as a way to prevent herself from eating the whole bag. But then when you keep going to this same bag, getting a few at a time, then you end up eating the whole bag anyway. Yeah, that warm lemon water is good. Ataka Zulu. And yeah, Ronnie Ron, that's why I said Dr. Sebi, with some of his stuff, I don't necessarily agree with everything he said. Because he also said broccoli and stuff like that is not necessarily good for you. Shouldn't be eating that. Like, and I swear by broccoli, just from what it has done for me. Like, I've noticed since I've been consuming more broccoli, like I've been good. Bell peppers, onions, and mushrooms. Had to try that out. Now I'm assuming then you eat Oreos after that as dessert. But yeah, garlic has way more benefits in regards to consuming it. So yeah, I definitely recommend garlic. Like I said, I've done a knowledge to Dr. Sebi of some things I can take away from him. Because as we have been taught to do, we take the best parts of everything. That's what I do. I discard the rest. But like through my studies, I'm rocking with garlic. I'm rocking with broccoli. I'm rocking with kale. I'm rocking with all that. The so-called hybrid foods. I'm rocking with them. Dizzy damn ramen, top flight ramen noodles. That's plastic. I don't know. That's what that is. Plastic. You might as well eat plastic. That's what that is. Steve G. Spinach is one of the best foods that you can consume. Got your iron in there. Good source of protein for the plant-based individual. Calcium, magnesium. So yeah, I definitely recommend consuming the spinach. Beach reincarnated, like whole grain pastas are cool. But again, you don't want to overindulge, but like whole grain pastas are actually cool. It's like the white pasta and all that becomes a problem. Ronnie Ron, carrots are beneficial. Yeah, carrots are good. Montel, I've had plenty of vegan pieces. They like you can put the vegetables on there. Yeah, but Ronnie Ron, carrots is good for what I think is vitamin A, and they help pretty much keep like the eyes healthy and whatnot. All right, Dynasty, that's the way. That's the way to do it. So you got discipline when it comes to the Oreos. A lot of people don't, and that is how the waistline becomes unsnatched. And I don't even think that's a word. I may have just made that up, but that's what be happening. Steve G, yeah, you can easily gain on vegan lifestyle. Easily. Yeah, she she probably watching this joint, eating Oreo, dipping it in some almond milk. Lindell, the best bread is Ezekiel bread. And then if you do like whole wheat, but then you want to, depending on what your goal is, man, you might want to try to lay off the bread. But like the best bread is Ezekiel bread. Sourdough bread is cool. Yeah, Goldilocks. Out the garden. That's fresh. Oh, Shane, yeah, you missed a lot, man. Go back and take it back from the beginning. I was venting for like the first 30 minutes, as I tend to do. But yeah, Lindell, like I said, Ezekiel bread is like the best bread. Then, like I said, sourdough bread is cool in moderation with the whole wheat bread. And then like certain sprouted breads that they have, And Ron, Ezekiel bread is supposed to have more nutrients. That's why that bread is supposed to be better for you. Yeah, Donna, like I said, you gotta really watch what you're doing with the bread. Beast reincarnated. I'm starting to think you feel like I'm killing a lot of your dreams out here, man. I feel like every time we bring up something, you you act so you can't eat it anymore. Oh, Shane, that's what's up, man. Hopefully the moms have fun out here. Hopefully Mom Duke's having a ball out here, man. It's always a good thing to see Mom Duke's enjoying life. Nah, Tank, no. If you consume fish, you are nowhere near a vegan. You are a pescatarian by definition. But if you consume fish, you are not a vegan. And in regards to it being a better alternative to other forms of meat, because fish is a form of meat, it's just the label, like poultry, that's chicken, like fish, seafood, but it's all meat. But if you go on pescatarian, like you gotta really watch. You gotta really watch the fish and the seafood, because that's one of the more contaminated sources of food, because the water is so polluted and garbage. So you can get a lot of like mercury poisoning and all that if you overly consume the wrong types of fish and seafood. So I'm not gonna necessarily say going pescatarian is like a better alternative, because there's a lot of misinformation out here about fish. For some reason, people think fish is like a superfood and you need to eat it for like brain health and stuff like that. Don't know where that came from, but I may have to do something on that too. All Goldilocks, all of those superfoods are right and exact. Oh, Shane, right now I haven't been able to find like the actual sea moss, so I had to settle for this sea moss powder. So I throw it in smoothies, but I haven't been able to find like a decent, like the original type of sea moss. Yeah, so y'all within this whole dialogue, man, I feel like it's a bunch of other things that I got to touch on, man, like fish, iron. I even want to touch on like heart disease and things like that, man. Like diabetes, a bunch of stuff that I feel like I want to touch on. Because it's a lot of misconceptions out here, man. A lot of things that need to be cleaned up. Idris. So I typically make my smoothies, man. If you buy smoothies from like these stores out here, man, they typically lace with a bunch of sugar for no reason at all. So I make my own, like to put bananas in there with all berries, like mangoes, peaches, and I throw water in my smoothie. Then I throw like hemp seeds in there, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds. Then some of my little powders, the spirulina, kelp powder, chlorella, whatever I have on hand. And if I feel anti-inflammatory-ish, then I may throw some turmeric in there. Yeah, Goldilocks, that's good to make your own multivitamin type deal. That's legit. Yeah, that macaroon does that. I think I still got a bag of the macaroon. Beach reincarnated, you can order them, or you like whatever health food store is near you. They should have all of those seeds. Yep, ginger too. Oh, dizzy, man. Type 1. That's the rare form of diabetes, man. So that's lacking insulin, producing little to no insulin type deal. So as far as that being reversed, a lot of the information and the knowledge that I've done revolves around type 2. So type 1, I don't want to give you a definitive answer, but I feel like it can be. I just have to do some more digging and then get back to you on that. But like I got a few books on reversing diabetes, but for the most part, they deal with type 2. But I'm 100% sure, like I said, man, the body can reverse any and everything. So the body can reverse everything. So I'm gonna say yes, but I gotta, in order to give you the blueprint, I'm gonna do some knowledge for you and give you the actual blueprint. But like I said, you know how I feel about it. The body can reverse any and everything. Like the body strives for health, and it, as long as you give it what it needs, it's gonna look out for you. Yeah, O'Shane, there you go. Yeah, Dizzy, just give me some weeks and then I'm gonna have you, man. I'm gonna have a whole blueprint laid out for you. Joaquin, like I said, man, when it comes to colon cancer, the best approach to that is the same approach we should have to any and everything: preventative measures. So the earlier you can adopt that plant-based lifestyle, the better. The longer you wait and hold that stuff and push that stuff back and off, better your chances are of coming down with some form of cancer. So it's like the earlier that you can adopt that plant-based lifestyle, the better. You gotta adopt that plant-based lifestyle. You gotta exercise. You gotta take care of your mental and your brain health, man. You gotta meditate, journal. You gotta remove yourself from stressful environments. So if the work that you are doing is stressful, you gotta find another line of work. So those are the things that you gotta do to protect yourself from any cancer, not just colon cancer, from any cancer. You gotta make sure everything lines up. So you got to change the way that you eat. You got to be active. You got to change the way that you think. You got to meditate. You got to rest. You got to get you some sunlight. You got to do that, man. You got to go out in nature, become in tune with the outside world, man. You got to do things like that. You got to fast. You got to get your water in, and you will be good. Oh, Shane, man, you gonna have to send some stuff to your boy, man. I'm gonna have to get some stuff from you if you out there in the tropics. Y'all got the stuff that I need. Yeah, that Comedic Diet book is, like I said, I read it like 2 or 3 times. I read it about 10 plus years ago. I've been vegan for about it's been about a year and some change now, but I was vegetarian for the longest, like 10 plus years, and I went on and off between that and veganism. I tried to go vegan when I was like in college, and that was like a little too expensive at that particular point in time. So I didn't last long doing it when I was in college. So now I'm in like a better position to be able to do it. And like I said, I'm going to eventually transition over to the predominantly raw lifestyle. Yeah, Steve G, that's the key, man. You got to change. You got to change yourself, man. You got to change, shift that mentality, paradigm shift. Yeah. So again, yo, this been another positive dialogue, another positive stream. Like we've been having some good interactions here, man. I feel like this is the only the beginning. only the beginning of this channel, man. Like I said, it's going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to evolve this particular channel, man. I got other stuff that I'm working on. Like I said, I got books and whatnot that I'm working on. I got apparel that I got right now, but I haven't really been pushing that, promoting that because of this COVID and coronavirus, man. So my shipping is all over the place. So I really haven't been pushing my apparel for like my fitness stuff, things like that. So it's little stuff that I'm working on like that. But I got books that I'm about to be dropping here soon. This platform we're gonna continue to build on that. I appreciate all the people that's been with me from like day one, grinding it out with me, man, as I learn, as I adapt and adjust and all that good stuff. Like I said, we only gonna grow, we only gonna get stronger. We only gonna continue to evolve, man. That's what this channel is about. If you come across this channel, man, and you don't strive for evolution and strive to better yourself, then I'm doing something incorrectly. That's all I strive to do, man. I strive to inspire change. I strive to inspire you to think outside of that box. So if you're not doing any of that, I'm doing something incorrectly. And I just feel like a lot of people are doing that. So I'm gonna continue to do what I'm striving to do. And this was me stepping out of my element. Like I said, I'm a behind the scenes type dude. I don't really too much care to be all in the camera like that. So I had to get out of my comfort zone. I feel like it's working out for me. And again, eventually we gonna take this on the road, man. So like 2021, I'm gonna do some traveling, man. Try to speak in certain cities, man. I'm probably head down south first because I got people there. So I'm gonna try to find out where most of y'all at, man. I'm gonna try to hit y'all cities, man. And y'all gonna have to help me organize some stuff when I get there. But we're gonna take this message on the road because we know how they get on these platforms, man. You really can't say what you really want to say because they watch it. So we gotta meet up and discuss what we really want to discuss in those particular private settings. So we gotta move smarter. I'm not about to reveal all my plans on this platform. I'm not about to reveal all the information on this platform so they can do me just like they would do everybody else that does that. Shut it down. So we gotta work strategically here. It's all strategy, art of war type deal. I didn't learn that art of war. So when we meet up privately, like when I travel to the cities, we gonna go hard, way harder on the information. And that's how we gonna create that change that needs to be created. Omnipotent Goldie, you in the Chi-Town, you about 4 hours from me. Montel, you nowhere from me. And then we gotta watch out. We gotta watch out for the infiltrators. Another thing that they like to do, get the infiltrators. So I hope none of y'all are informants right now. I hope none of you all are agents right now. But for the most part, I know y'all not, man, because I'm able to detect a lot of them. But hopefully none of y'all have been contacted and been paid off, you know. If you an informant, speak right now, forever hold your peace. Obviously, of course, you're not gonna say nothing, but we know how that go. It's some informants probably watching this right now that's just not saying nothing. So we know how that go. But for the most part, man, I'm gonna probably reach out to a lot of y'all, man, the ones that consistently comment, man. I'm gonna have y'all help out with the movement and stuff that I'm building, man. Just make y'all ambassadors or something, man. Spread this movement. Like we creating a movement, we creating a lifestyle, man. But you got to be wise with who you associate with. That's why I keep my inner circle small because of like infiltration and for me studying my history. I can't have people in the movement that are willing to be paid off, man. You can't have a price tag on you. Somebody come to you and offer you that million, even that billion, you got to be able to like, nah, I'm good. They can't pay me, and I would never sell myself out, man. That's why I still got my locks to this day. Y'all know the type of position that I could have placed myself in by simply cutting my hair. I'm not doing it though. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna walk around as nappy as I can, man, and I'm gonna still do what's necessary. I'm gonna still live the life that I deserve to live. I'm never selling myself out. Hence why I got to go through the struggle a little bit more than most, because I'm not selling myself out for any and everyone, man. If I feel like it's the truth, I'm going to speak it. If I feel like it's true to me, I'm going to live it. I'm not about to shield myself. A lot of people don't like that. So it is what it is, man. If we got informants in here, I feel like I got enough people right now that's looking out for them. So I feel like I'm not the only set of eyes that's looking out for these informants. But we gotta be mindful of that type of stuff, man, because on channels like this, sometimes you get a lot of those. So y'all know what it is, man. We ain't saying nothing crazy on this channel. So if anything happened to this channel, like it'll be crazy in and of itself, but we know how that goes. So we sticking to the script, man. We evolving, but like I said, this is a movement. This is a lifestyle. And like I said, I would have been pushing kind of like the apparel and the brand name a little bit more, but this COVID that messed all that up. So I've been waiting, kind of postponing that. What's going on, fam? Appreciate that subscription. Oh, Amber. Oh, you got it. You got it. Start intermittent fasting right now. Like that's the first thing you do. Start intermittent fasting. If you drink any type of soda, cut that out right now. Minimize, reduce, eliminate refined sugars, cookies, cake, little white pastas, white rice, bread, all that. Eliminate it. More veggies, more fruits. Eat the fruits in the morning. Eat a light meal at night. Eat your heaviest meal lunchtime. Like you do those little simple steps. You implement those, you'll be good. You'll start seeing that weight come off instantly. And then start doing like some HIIT training, high intensity interval training with some weightlifting, and you will be good. But again, you keep watching the videos that I'm putting out. You're gonna take your health to that next level. You're gonna be unstoppable. Yeah, omnipotent Goldie. I told somebody that the other day. I'm not cutting the crown. My antennas. This is my connection. Like these locks got a lot of power. Got a lot of power. Hence, when I go walk in places, stop and stare, that's power. It's power in these locks. Yeah, most definitely got to be around the positive people, man. That's what I do. I try to surround myself with that, but for the most part, I keep that circle very small. Very small. Yeah, Steve G, most definitely. That's why, again, speak truth to power. They can't suppress the truth. It's gonna always come to the light. The cream always rises to the top. Cream is symbolic to the truth. It always rises to the top. No matter how hard they try to suppress it. It's gonna always rise to the top. They can't keep us down, they can't keep the truth down. So it is what it is. Most definitely, Montel. But I already know for the most part, when I was dealing with corporate America, I was getting denied jobs left and right. And I had all the qualifications. And I know why I was getting denied. They won't admit it, though. Talking about they hired a more qualified. Little do they know I got infiltrated. So I knew some of the places, I knew the people that they hired, and they wasn't more qualified than me. So, hey, I know how to infiltrate their system as well. They can't be playing with me like that, man. I know how to infiltrate. I know how to research, and I know how to dig just like they know how to dig and research. So I'm gonna find out the truth. But we building our own systems over here, so I stop relying on them. Y'all don't want to hire me with the locks, I'm gonna hire myself. And then I'm gonna hire a bunch of people that look like me, just like y'all do. And I'm gonna make sure they get rich, and I'm gonna make sure they get wealthy, just like y'all do. So that's how we gonna play it. I'm gonna send people on the inside on they type of systems, infiltrated, just like they do. I'm gonna spend X amount of dollars just to make sure the truth gets out, just like they spend X amount of dollars to make sure the truth doesn't get out. and these fabrications and these lies get out. They spend money to do that. We're going to reverse that. We're going to spend money, make sure this truth gets out. Like, we're going to do the reverse of what they do. That's how we move. Listen, Dizzy, this even, I've been wrestling with my locks pre-corporate America. My high school tried to make me cut my hair, yo. The high school that I went to, they made a rule the year after I transferred there. They made a rule saying men could not, or boys could not have their hair past their collar. This was a year after I transferred there. My hair obviously was like the longest. So I was like, word. So I've been wrestling with this type of stuff since I was 15, 16. And what did they do? What did my high school do? Instead of the white principal coming to me, they send the black dean of students to let us know. So of course they send the black man to speak to the black kids about a rule that they enforced. So, you know, I'm 15, 16, Sambo and Uncle Tom and this dude to death. I'm like, dog, you really gonna be their messenger like that? You really gonna be their errand boy like that? Like, you cool with that role? All right. I'm not cutting his hair though. Tell them that, you know what I mean? Since they so afraid to come address us themselves and they gonna send you out here. So I've been wrestling with this stuff for the longest, man. I've been wrestling with this type of discrimination for the longest, and people swear that it's not out here like it's crazy. Like, yes, I'm living proof that it is. But like I said, man, they can't hold me down. I'm not the type to make excuses. I'm the type to look at everything as an opportunity and use it as motivation. I'm not going to depend on you to earn my living. Like, straight up. If you're going to discriminate on some nonsense like that, I'm going to make my own way. Just like you made your own way. I'm going to make my own way so I can make my own rules. And I'm gonna put the people on that they not putting on. The people that's getting overlooked because of small stuff like they locks and things of that nature. So that's how we gonna do it, man. We gonna reclaim what's ours, man. I'm gonna see to it. I'm gonna be part of that movement in some way, shape, or form. Because we had a rich history, man, and we fell down, and this is about our time to rise back up. It's about our time to rise back up. And I feel like it's gonna happen before we expire, hopefully. Granted, anything can happen, but if we live to the age that we are supposed to live to, I feel like we're gonna see that. And they know it. But I feel like I'm about to get a little too deep in it, man. I might save some of that for Monday. So this has been a nice dialogue as always, man. It's always great chopping it up with you all. I'm gonna be back Monday around the same time, man. Of course, we're gonna come with some more powerful information. Don't know what the topic could be right now, but we probably gonna deal with something that's revolving around, you know, the mind, building up that mind. Because again, that's where it all starts, man. So like I said, this has been a peaceful, positive, and productive dialogue, interaction. Hopefully you all have a peaceful Saturday evening. Eat y'all some healthy food, man. Get y'all some meditation in. Say some affirmations before you lay it down, go to sleep. Get that water in, all that healthy stuff, man. Read some pages in a positive book. And shut it down, man. Y'all be peaceful. Build on that positive, destroy the negative. I'm out, y'all. Peace.